But I hate to have to kick your ass out, but get the fuck out of here with that shit. And so good for Blac Chyna for doing that. What's up, Steelers and Fenzonis? Thanks for tuning back in to another Keeping It Real with Danie Steele. I want to talk about that Blac Chyna episode. Hey, I'm sorry, I don't even know the name of the show. I just saw it randomly on YouTube. Now I am curious. Now I'm I want to tune in. I want to know what's going on more than ever. And I love what Blac Chyna did with that because she took control of the narrative. Everyone was talking about what her and Toni were doing and what they were up to and what the relationship was like and what they were fighting about. And she really took control of the narrative and said, okay, if people are going to sit around and talk about what I do 24/7, I'm going to profit off of it. I'm going to benefit from that. I'm not going to have other people getting paid to talk about my life. What a smart businesswoman move. If you know anything about Blac Chyna, you know that she is most definitely, clearly a businesswoman and all about her business moves. She's definitely a boss. So if your upbringing was anything similar to mine, that episode with Blac Chyna and her mother, Toni, was a bit triggering. Some shit might have come up for you. Definitely shit came up for me. I'm now interested in Blac Chyna. I feel like this show is going to definitely do what she wanted it to do. And I love that because so oftentimes we see celebrities. We saw Whitney Houston, we saw Michael Jackson attempt to tell and share their stories about their lives using their narrative, and it still got twisted anyways, right? So this video is to throw no types of shade at all at the episode. I think that Blac Chyna is very strong and powerful. She's clearly the vulnerable woman, but I mean, there's something so strong and powerful about her being willing to share her story about what's going on in her life and why she's had the journey that she's had. Let's be honest, cameras would capture some crazy shit at most of our homes, right? Cameras would capture some crazy shit. And I think what broke my heart and a lot of people was wow, even with all of the money, it's still financial problems. It's still jealousy. It's still anger. There's still bitterness and resentment. There's still so many things that happen even with money and fame. It's you can't escape those issues. But it's clear that's what Blac Chyna is trying to do. She's determined to escape those issues. And I think that's what touched me the most about the episode. One of the things she told Toni, who's her mother, while they were filming the episode was, you won't see your grandkids because they're not going to be exposed to this. And that was so powerful. They're not going to be exposed to this. This anger, this bitterness, this resentment, this unarticulated rage, this unfocused, downright bullying, honestly. And, Toni, you're not the only person that came from the streets. You know what I'm saying? You're not the only person that's had a hard life. You're not the only person that's had tough times. You have a choice. You have a choice to make. Are you going to continue to have the same relationship that you always had with your daughter? Are you going to continue to have things get worse and blame it on Hollywood and blame it on the fame and blame it on random other people that are not in your lives that don't matter? Or are you going to come to terms with the fact that you have to unpack your shit and you've got unresolved issues that you need to deal with? It's coming off so clear. You know what I'm saying? You're not the only person that's had a hard life. And I hate that shit. I hate that I had to fucking say that shit because so many people told me that shit. And I'm you don't fucking know my life. You know what I'm saying? But you're not the only person that's had a hard life. And your daughter doesn't want that shit in her children's lives. And for me, she gets nothing but respect for that. She gets nothing but respect for that. Because that's the hardest decision in the world. She said, "That's my mom was my best friend. I don't want to not have a relationship with her. But I'll be damned if I continue to expose myself to this. I'll be damned if I expose my children to this. Because this shit is toxic." And it absolutely is. Toni, you were saying some rough shit And I was like, damn, like, I know y'all trying to be real as fuck, and I appreciate it, but it's like, holy shit. I don't care if I let a whole army basically rape my child. My child owes me respect. No, in the fuck they don't. No, in the fuck they don't. And black people love to say, Bible says, honor thy mother and thy father. Okay, Bible says a lot of shit that y'all don't give a fuck about. Y'all don't give a fuck about. Now all of a sudden this Bible says honor thy mother and father. Fuck out of here with that shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. And on some Bible shit, fuck out of here with that shit. That episode really hurt my heart, but Blac Chyna is doing the right thing in not allowing that toxicity in her and her children's lives. Period. Period. They don't deserve to have to see grandma fighting. You're in her home. There's a certain amount of respect that's given there as well. And I'm sure the Bible says something about that somewhere. Where were you respecting her when you didn't raise her? When she was sitting around at home thinking about where you were as a child, not having a childhood, scared and terrified. I've been there and I know that fucking situation. Where's the respect there? You got to give respect to get respect. Bible says that as well. It's also somewhere in there. Find it. It's not my job to find it. It's in there. You want to say Bible says honor thy mother and father. You don't know what verse that is. You don't know what chapter that is. Up in her face and shit and the spitting and shit. Come on. Almost any black woman that grew up in the hood or grew up in hoodish ass situations, because this shit can happen, as you saw. This was a mansion. Not even a McMansion. This was a mansion that this shit went down in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bitch, you can't take your ass to the other side of the mansion? You want her to bend the knee. Be real. You want her to bend the knee. Even though she's the one with the fame and she's the one with the money and therefore she's the one with the power, right? Money, power, respect. You want her to put you first and pretend like you're the one with the money, power, and respect. But you're not. You're not. You haven't earned it. You never earned it. I've been there. I relate. Right? I fucking relate. And it's just crazy. No child should be exposed to that anger, that unresolved issues because you haven't unpacked your shit. I could tell from watching Toni that she's never taken a meditation, yoga class. I mean, I'm sure she has, but it was like, have you listened to Sadhguru? Have you listened to Malcolm X? Have you, as I ask most of my subscribers, have you read Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome? See, you're angry about a lot of things, and it doesn't have anything to do with Blac Chyna not giving you respect. And you got to unpack those issues for yourself. You can't put that shit on Blac Chyna and then have her give the best of her life to you and then have her do the same to her kids. The whole point why I so love what Blac Chyna is doing and why she's showing this, cultural norms. This is a cultural norm. If I'm yelling and screaming at you and I'm spitting in your face as I'm talking to you, oh well, because I'm older than you, or I'm your guardian, or I took care of you, or I'm your mom, or I'm your this, or I'm your that. So fucking what? There's a level of human decency and respect. Don't understand it? Get cut off. Get your car taken away. Because people that understand that, they're usually the ones that have the power to do those things. It's too much sitting around and saying, oh, well, that's how we do things. And don't you dare cry. Don't you dare cry if someone's bucking at you and trying to debo you and trying to make you cry, trying to break you. Don't do it. Don't cry, right? Because then you weak and you sensitive. Your weak ass, your sensitive ass, old bitch ass, right? You know what I'm saying? Y'all know. Y'all know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what the fuck I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? How toxic is that? So toxic. These cultural norms that you need to break so that you're not putting that shit on your child. It's not just the black community. It's not just a black issue. This happens in all ethnic groups, all races, all communities, where the parents place this burden on the child where they say, hey, you know what? My dreams didn't come true, didn't pan out. Life didn't pan out for me the way I wanted. So I'm going to place an enormous burden on you to basically fulfill these holes and these gaps that I have in my life. I'm going to place that on you. And your only remedy is knowing that you get to do the same to your child. Or you get to do the same to some other kid. Wow, what a prize. Surprise, surprise, Blac Chyna's got other plans and she's not interested in that. And neither am I. And as you can see from what Blac Chyna showed and her friend, Jules? Treasure. Yeah. It's lonely. It's lonely. It's a lonely life when you decide, hey, I'm going to break cultural norms. I'm going to break generational curses and the generational trauma that binds us. I'm going to break it. And we can find other things to bind us. We have so many other reasons to be around each other and love each other and share, in life with each other. Our bond doesn't have to be trauma. And so I applaud anyone who makes the choice to change the course of their child's life, to end generational curses and generational traumas and cycles of abuse, right? Well, my mama did it, my grandmama did it, and she did it, and he did it, and she did it, and he did it. So if she did it and he did it, then that means, no, it don't. No, it don't, because you know better. And one of the reasons that I don't forgive abuse and neglect of any sort is because you know better. You know better. In a court of law, you'd be put in prison. So I applaud Blac Chyna. I applaud myself and any and all people that decide, you know what, I'm not going to raise my children the way that I was raised, knowing that this shit is wrong and this shit is fucked up and this shit hurts and this shit kills and this shit leads to addiction and this shit leads to further trauma that they're gonna have to unpack and they're gonna have to deal with. I'm not gonna leave them with that. Y'all leaving these kids no will, no money, no power, no respect, no nothing. You need to learn how to listen. You need to get over the fact that this person is not a child and you haven't earned the right to treat them as such. A lot of parents are going to have to start dealing with that, but it's up to you. We teach people how to treat us. And that's what Blac Chyna is doing when she takes away Toni's car and she doesn't let her see her children. When she does these things, she's teaching her, this is how things are going to be done in my home. This is how things are going to be done where I'm at. Period. If you don't like it, you don't have to come around. Obviously, you know your options. And you're going to have to start presenting people with that. Don't let people debo you and sit up there trying to check you and spitting in your face and shit in your home, disrespecting you. Like I said, I've been there. It's sick. I've never disrespected anyone in their home. I couldn't imagine. It's so trashy to me. Women, right? Women, family members. They like to check you and they like to debo you and they like to put you in their place and they like to establish the pecking order and establish the hierarchy. And I'm not playing those games. Play it in your home. You're not going to do it in my home. And if I go to your home and you're playing those games, I know I can leave. But I hate to have to kick your ass out, but get the fuck out of here with that shit. And so good for Blac Chyna for doing that. I'm definitely more interested in the show and Blac Chyna. I was really curious about Blac Chyna and Wendy Williams hanging out because I'm like, these are two very fascinating women. I wish I could be a fly on the wall, right? I would like to be a fly on the wall to hear those types of conversations that those women would have because they know very powerful people, they know very powerful men, and they're very powerful women, and they've built empires on their own. So yeah, happy for Wendy Williams. I see she doing her thing, on to the divorce. That's what I'm talking about. When you make the money, you make the decisions. Good for her. I definitely want to do a video about Wendy Williams as well because I'm feeling this new path of hers. And I'm really happy that Blac Chyna is setting an example. She's not showing a bunch of chaos and her yelling back and screaming and shit. I mean, yeah, you know, it came to blows because guess what? That's how it comes down, right? When people try to incite you and people try to provoke you, right? And they know what they're doing because they know where you come from and how to trigger you, right? So you don't even want to deal with that situation at all, and you just keep it all at a distance. But, you know, yeah, she might have thrown one or two things, but it is her home. She has the right to throw whatever she wants in her home. Maybe not at people, but, you know, it doesn't look like she caused too much damage. And I feel like overall, she really tried to show she was willing to talk things out, to listen, to make amends. And Toni was not willing to do the same because she hasn't unpacked her shit. She's angry about a bunch of other shit and doesn't know why, so she's being passive aggressive and taking it out on Blac Chyna. That was my impression of the episode. Maybe I'll even review the next episode. Oh my goodness. Let's learn something from this. It's always time and room to learn. So let's learn something from this. And I think what I take away from this is that, you know, even if you have money and fame, you're still going to have to really address the issues that are targeting you. And if you can't, then you have to, you know, I guess, cut ties. I don't really know what else you could possibly do. So I'm with Blac Chyna on that one. All right, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about this. Can you relate? Like I said, throughout the entire video, I know that I can. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. All right, bye.